In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best enchant loadouts for everything inside of Pet Simulator 99. So this is using grinding coins, grinding loot, grinding diamonds, hatching pets, all of that stuff in this video. So make sure to like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and hop straight into this because this might be a little bit longer video just because of all the different enchant loadouts and possibilities you could use. And by the way, just want to point this out now, if I do not mention one that has your amount of slots, just send me a DM on Discord, link to my Discord servers in the description. And I'll go ahead and help you. Just make sure to send me your enchant layout and your pet team and what you're trying to grind for. But anyways, so starting with if you want drops, because I feel like drops is the #1 thing most people want. So this is currently a loadout I am using right here. Now this is not necessarily the best loadout. This is just what I'm using right here because this is how much drops I currently want. Some things I just want to recommend broadly out there before I go a little more in depth into this. Do not use more than 2 of the same enchant just because it starts getting useless. If you use a third one, depends if it's like lucky eggs or something, maybe it's fine. But if you use a third treasure hunter, or even if you use a third critical, you're getting nothing. But if you use a third treasure hunter, you're barely getting anything. So you just like really keep that in mind, that it does not really stack past 2, and it's just not worth it. You could get so much more by putting on another random enchant, even if it's not drops. Like, you have an extra slot, you don't know what to put in, put a diamonds. But this is my loadout right here. Now, if you, just to keep in mind, if you empower your enchants, empowering, then great, you will be able to make so much better enchant loadouts than this. For example, if you empower one treasure hunter, you do not need this treasure hunter, and you could replace it with something else that fits you better. Like, for example, I'd probably put like a boss chest mimic right here if I had this treasure hunter empowered, because it does really help to empower. Now, I know that it is really expensive, so it might not be worth it for you. If it's not, then don't use it. I'm just putting it out there now. If you empower your enchants, it does help a lot, and you don't need to use 2 of them, just to keep that in mind. But anyways, if you do not have the 3 pay-to-win slots, honestly, you do not need these. I would just like get rid of these 3 or something. Now, if you don't have a chest mimic, totally fine. If you have a superior chest mimic or a boss chest mimic or a lucky block, boss lucky block, replace it with that. But if you don't have any of those, it depends also how fast you break stuff. If you have only 5 slots, use something similar. Actually, I don't know why I have a diamonds on it. I would use something similar to this right here, or definitely have a super magnet at all times. If you don't have a super magnet, highly recommend going to get one. I know I talk about this a lot in my videos, but super magnet is one of those enchants that is like always going to be needed, so just keep that in mind. Now, there are a couple other ways to help break stuff faster I just wanted to go over real quickly. One of those is if you use shiny flags and a shiny supercharge, because the shiny supercharge increases the strength of your pets by 100%. If you use that with a shiny flag that turns all your pets to shiny, it can be really good. I would only recommend this though if you are insanely struggling to break stuff in the final zone. If that's the case, then then use it. But besides that, I mean, it's better just to use hasty flags in the final zone. So just keep that in mind. Another thing I do want to recommend, if you're using a lot of chest mimics like how I do, I use 3 and I kind of want to get a boss chest mimic. An enchant that might actually be really good for you is the mini chest fortune right here. It's pretty cheap compared to the chest mimic books and all that, and it is really good if you use a lot of chest books on your enchant loadout. Now, the main enchants that I would try to have at least one of on your team are something similar to this. You want to have at least 1 treasure hunter on your team, alright? Because treasure hunter increases your chance of a drop from the breakables, and it's not 50%, but it does increase it by a lot. So just keep that in mind, that you want to use at least one of those. If you have a chest mimic, obviously use it. If you have a superior chest mimic, you could use that too. Super magnet, I would definitely recommend. If you don't have a super magnet, just use a magnet. Like, I'm pretty sure from what I've heard, if you use 2 magnet 3s, it is actually enough to reach, like, all the orbs can reach you from the egg in the final zone. So you might want to use 2 magnet 3s. That might be pretty crucial for you. Use at least 1 critical or strong pet, or both. Something similar to that. And then, honestly, if you only have 4 slots, I'd probably recommend something similar to this. But besides that, I would definitely use a second treasure hunter. And obviously, I would use these exclusives. But if you don't have the exclusives, because I know not everybody can afford a 1.8 billion item, it's better to just use something else similar to this. Now, something I did want to point out real quick before I get any further in the video, a lot of people are under this little confusion because of the last update. Do not use any tapping power stuff or anything like that. I think the reason a lot of people are confused is because in the prison world, with that boss chest, every single video you watch was probably recommending like 3 tapping powers, a super lightning, and all that stuff. That is when you're dealing with a boss chest that has a ton of health and it's one breakable that doesn't take 3 seconds to break. So just keep that in mind. That is not how you want to use in this for this world, because the obby world, because basically you're breaking stuff. You might not be breaking it really fast, but if you're tapping only helps a lot if you're doing it continuously on the same breakable. Otherwise, tapping does not really help when you're in a zone with a whole bunch of spread out breakables that are breaking really fast compared to the boss chest. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, if you have any more questions or think I missed something about the getting drops, let me know in the comment section down below. Drops is probably the most crucial one, or the one that most people are wanting about. Anyways though, you might just want to try out some different things though using those, because obviously it is different for everybody in this game. Like for example, in the prison keys, getting the prison keys, everyone wanted to know how to get those. My best enchant loadout did not work for a lot of people, and the best person in the game enchant loadout did not work for me, because it all just also depends on your pet team. Anyways though, now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about diamonds. So diamonds is another pretty important one in the game, I'd say. Personally, I would just recommend going for drops and then selling those for diamonds. But I know some people like to, I don't know, just go for diamonds. So I'll talk about that real quick. Now, there's not very many enchants in the game that actually deal with diamonds. So the only enchants in the game that actually deal with diamonds, I'll go ahead and put them all up, are obviously the diamond chest mimic. I would not recommend buying one of these if you don't have one. A diamond book and the fortune are really the only main enchants that do help. So if you were making an enchant loadout, let's say I was going for diamonds, I would probably do something like this. And honestly, these other slots, you can kind of just like use whatever. I would personally put in a chest mimic or something like this, just because these do not give diamonds, but they give drops to sell for diamonds, because there is really not a lot of enchants in the game that give diamonds, which I guess does make it a lot easier if you don't have a lot of enchant slots. Like if you only have 5, use something like this, because fortune does give 40%, and diamonds, this one gives 60%. It doesn't actually, but imagine, let's read it like it is. This gives 60%. This gives like 45. If we were to add another one, it'd give like 30. Those aren't the accurate numbers, but it's like something similar to that. So it's better to use a fortune instead of a third diamonds 9 book. Now maybe when we get up to like a diamonds 10, it might not be, but as of right now it is. You could obviously put on another diamonds book or something. But I would just personally put on like this or something and see if that works better for me, because you know, diamonds are one of those things where you can only get so many, and it also depends so much on your pet team that if you want to get a good diamond drops, you have to have also huges and all that too. So just keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to talk about the easiest one, in my opinion, in the game that I feel like a lot of people still ask me questions about for some reason, which is hatching. Now, here's a current loadout I would use for hatching. It is it this one? It is not this one. But I would use something like this. So, lucky eggs is the only exception I would give to maybe using 3. So anyways, I would do something like this. If you don't have a huge hunter, obviously this enchant loadout I'm making right here deals with both huges and hatching stat pets. So here is an enchant loadout I would do right here. Something like this. If you don't have a huge hunter, replace this with a criticals, because I mean if you're wondering why criticals and the super magnet, it's because I'm assuming that you're breaking stuff at the same time. Now if you don't have auto farm, and let's say you're not breaking stuff while hatching, then you don't need these two, obviously, because they're for breaking, and you can replace them with either, I don't know, another shiny, another huge hunter, or another lucky eggs. But you probably should be breaking stuff while you get this, which is why I would probably do something like this. Maybe, and if you're going for more huges, replace one of the lucky eggs with another huge hunter, or something like that. And of course, if you have the better shiny version, you can go ahead and use that one. I personally don't have it and have never used it, as you can see right here, the super shiny hunter, because I just don't really hatch. Now, I do have eggs mastery 99 along with breakables mastery 99, but I just don't really hatch. I mean, I know I have a max, but I just don't hatch enough to where it would I would care enough to buy I think it was like 400 million gems or something. And there's just better enchants that I would rather buy right now than that for 412 million gems. So yeah, I felt like Lucky Eggs is one of the easiest enchant loadouts to do. I'm going to go ahead and talk about coins now. So coins is a little similar to drops and diamonds kind of. And what I mean by that, so obviously if I was making coins, this is this enchant loadout I'm going to make right here. This is what I'd use when an update first comes out, because when an update first comes out, you're not going to be able to break stuff pretty fast. And it kind of just, I would do something similar to this. So I would do a super magnet, 2 coin signs, a criticals, a strong pets, a fortune right there, a fruity, and in these final 2 spots, I would maybe add another criticals or strong pets, just because I'd probably be struggling to break stuff when an update first comes out, and then a chest mimic or a superior chest mimic, just because of drops. But these 2 aren't needed to get more coins at all. I would do something like this to get more coins. If you're wondering why the fruity, make sure you're using fruits, obviously, or else it doesn't do anything. It's because the banana boosts your coins, and then the other ones like boost your drops, boost everything with the rainbow fruit. I would actually also recommend a fruity for getting diamonds and drops if you're not AFK. That's the thing. If you're AFKing, then obviously don't do a fruity, because your fruits will run out. Unless you have fruit mastery level 99, which I still need to do. It's just so hard. It's so expensive to get like millions of fruits for it. Anyways, though, I would do something similar to this. Obviously, if you don't have these spots, the first things I would remove are the chest mimics, and then maybe the fruity if you're AFKing. And besides that, honestly, just test this out. If you don't think you're breaking it fast enough, maybe remove a fortune with another strong pets or something like that. And sadly, a lot of this is just you're gonna have to test these different loadouts out to see which ones help you. Like for example, maybe my drops one I recommended, or this is my diamonds. Maybe this one you thought that if you added another diamond, you got more. Which if you do, then that's great. Use it. It's just really hard, because if you don't have any huge pets, then obviously you're not going to be breaking stuff as fast. So it's worse for you if you put on an extra diamonds instead of a criticals. Like I said though at the beginning, if you empower your enchants, it will help you a lot. Just make sure you remember not to forget about them, because they do run out every 7 hours. But yeah, if you're empowering them, you only need like 1 coins or something like that, or 1 criticals or 1 strong pets. So just keep that in mind right there, that if you're empowering, it does help a lot. It can just be a little expensive. Besides that though, if you have any other questions, just tell me in the comment section down below. If it's about your enchant loadout specifically, send me a DM on Discord, because I most likely won't be able to help in the comment section to questions like that. So just send me a DM in my Discord, and I will try to respond to it as fast as I can. I know this is about enchant loadouts, but if you want to know what charms I use, I try to use something similar to this, or replace the strength with a royalty. If you're trying to do a enchant loadout that is sort of similar to mine. I think I got rid of my enchant loadout while making this video. But yeah, go to the beginning if you wanted to see what I won. And just a little thing to keep in mind also, from what I have heard, now personally, I don't know if I fully believe this, but it seems like chest mimics don't exactly drop seashells. It seemed like they did for me, but they might not. So just keep that in mind, that chests might not drop seashells. I don't know. If you know for sure, tell me in the comment section down below. But hopefully this video did help you. If you have any other questions, let me know. I know I didn't go too fully in depth with this one, talking about the API and all that. Just make sure you're not using more than 2 to 3 of the same enchant, because then it starts to get really, really useless, and you're losing out on a lot. Anyways though, links to my Roblox and Discord server are in the description down below. I'd appreciate if you join them, and have an amazing rest of your day, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.